ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the desert. Hope you've all been doing well, guys. Now, it's time to address the elephant in the room. And there's a fat chick on the screen. That was the joke if you're not watching. But guys, enough bullying her looks. Let's get started with her message. Let's see what this lovely lady is going through.
Back with a dating update with my life. So like a couple weeks ago, I hung out with this guy and we hung out. Everything's fine. We ended up spending the whole weekend together pretty much. And like then he had a work trip, so he went on his work trip. Communication kind of started dwindling and I was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna back up. He's stopped responding to me. I'm not gonna respond. I already made the whole 24-hour no call, no show. I'm not doing it. So I let 2 weeks go by, nothing. He swipes up on my story, on my Snapchat story today. I'm like, oh, so we can lurk, but we can't text me. Okay. So I was like, fuck it. I'm open the can of worms and text him. So I do. And
yeah, let me just pause to say that this is how women will behave when they like you. You cannot do anything. This guy is not even texting her and she's thinking about him all day, checking her stories, checking if he has watched her story about her Starbucks coffee, checking on his profile to see what he's doing, you know, checking on his friends' profiles to see if he's on there. Just all this thing. And in the end, she ends up texting him. This is how women will treat you when they like you. If they don't do that, don't bother spending your time on them. Then they're not gonna like you. You're not gonna win them over. They have made their decision already. Also, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. But these 2 days that she spent with him, do you think that they hooked up or not? Because of course we're not going to mention it. And then we have to assume that, hey, they spent 2 days together, probably sleeping together. But nothing happened, you know. But we omit that. Well, what do you guess happened?
And I told him, I was like, I'm hurt by the situation. I think I was led on. And I was...
Who's going to tell her that this guy couldn't care less about her feelings? Who's going to tell her?
Like, he goes, yeah, well, I've been busy. And I was like, okay, I understand that, but you're never too busy for someone you want to make time with. He goes, yeah, you're right. I know I'm right. I know. We had this conversation in person. So, and then he's like, he's like, I guess I have time management issues. And I was like, okay, like, and what do you want a cookie? Like, he goes, I even have issues talking to my mom. Oh, okay, I don't know what to tell you about that. He's like, well, I guess, and he's like, well, I guess my opinion's not valid. And I was like, I never said that. But like you said, you just agreed with me that you're never too busy for someone you want to make time for. So I guess I misread the room. But like, take accountability for your actions, bro. Like, you may have...
Interesting, eh? Why don't you take accountability for your actions? You spread your legs before having the commitment, and now this guy doesn't care about you and he's not going to pursue a relationship with you, which is supposedly what you want. Hey, that's the consequences of your own actions. And I have to say that this woman allegedly, supposedly, slept with this man, because if I just assume it, there's always this one guy, Hidan, you don't know that. Yes, guys, I wasn't in the bedroom. I'm just making an assumption that if they spent 2 days together, sleeping together, probably something happened. They weren't just looking at the roof at night, you know? But hey, this is just my take. This is just coming from a misogynistic pig, so what do you know? But guys, let's finish the TikTok and let's move on to the next one.
Gave him an apology, but I don't necessarily believe it, because I had to like sit there and like tell you what you were doing wrong for you to be like, oh, I guess I'll take accountability.
He just doesn't care. Like, the red flags are there. He's not texting you, he doesn't bother, he's not interested. People just sense that, you know, when you in high school you wanted to be friends with someone but he took too long to reply. You invited him to go out and he declined like 56 times in a row, making up a different excuse every time. Like, at some point you just say, okay, he's just not interested, right? And moving onwards, you know how to realize if people are interested or not. But these women, guys, they go for the type of man that is clearly, visibly not interested, and they make up 400 excuses to keep hooked onto that guy?
I'm almost 40 and I have given up on dating.
Uh,
Now, this comes to no shock of the people, my age group, especially if you are living in Melbourne.
you guys don't know, Taylor is from Australia. Now, I don't know where he lives, but even if he lives in Sydney and this one is from Melbourne, still, I think he has to consider locking the door.
I don't know if you guys know, if you are not from Melbourne, but the dating in Melbourne sucks. Maybe it's just because...
Why is it that these women always say the dating in LA sucks, the dating in Melbourne sucks, the dating here and there, and coincidentally where they live it just sucks, right? And you have this phenomenon happen on many places on Earth. So is it that the air there is different or something, or is it that these women suck? You know, have you ever stopped to think about that?
Because I'm dating men around my age group. So, like I said, I'm almost 40. Oh my goodness. And obviously I'm meeting men around the same age group. But to be honest, a lot of the men I meet are younger. For some reason, I have a lot of younger men that want to get to know me, so to speak. So, of course...
No, they don't want to get to know you. They they want different things. I just said. Guys, the reason why these young men are going for women above 30 and 40 is not because it's my preference, you know. These younger women that have their whole future ahead of them, don't like them much. I prefer the 40-year-olds, especially if they are divorced, single mothers. Best case scenario. No, they're just easier, all right? They have less standards for spreading their legs than women in their 20s, because they have to compete against them, you know. And because women in their 20s are more attractive than women in their 40s, which is the only thing that matters when it comes to hookup culture, they have to make up for it. And they make up for it by being easier and making less demands when it comes to spreading their legs. That's the whole thing. They're not interested in you, madam.
Of course, meeting men from the ages, let's say 35 to 40, obviously they're going to have a bit of baggage, right? They're going to be, you know, probably married before, children before, you know, it all comes with the package. I mean, I obviously have my own stuff, you know, I have my own experiences, you know, good and bad in relationships. I have a son, you know, I've got my own thing that I'm going on. But the difference being is that I'm actually making an active effort to go, like, to heal, to deal with my stuff, right? I'm not going to be bringing that onto the next relationship or potential relationship. So I find that, you know, well, in my experience, the men that I meet, they're ready, you know, for a relationship. They want, you know, the whole package. They want that house, that, you know, homely environment that, you know, most women can provide really well. But then when it gets to that crunch point, it always gets to like the 2-month period where something goes wrong. So either they get scared or, you know, something happens, right? Maybe there's a miscommunication. Maybe we're having a few little tiffs and that freaks them out, or whatever it is. To be honest, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a few little, you know, arguments or whatever at the beginning. I know everybody says, you know, you've got to go through a honeymoon period where you're all sort of loved up and nothing happens. But I think it's perfectly healthy, you know, if you sort of have a few arguments, because at our age group, it's like we don't have time to stuff around, right? Not that we want to sort of get married and have everything straight away, but it's not like we're in our 20s where, you know, you just play the field and, you know, you're a bit more relaxed about it.
Yeah. I don't have time. Please be perfect, because each little problem along the way makes me feel like I'm missing on my last train, right? This is the attitude. Now, I don't know whether what this woman says is true about the men that have serious intentions with her, but guys, my take is that these men, they were never interested in having something serious. What she considers the beginning of a relationship, the 2 months she mentioned, they're not the beginning of anything. They are a hookup phase. They are a situationship, a talking stage, quote unquote. And the moment these men, you know, the moment there's something required out of them, like some sort of commitment, they just go away, right? I think that's what's happening here.
As much as I want to say I've given up, because I really want to, I mean, I'm focusing on me, I'm focusing on my business and everything else, making lots of money and living a life, right? But I am a hopeless romantic at heart. It's like I keep hitting my head against the brick wall, hoping that it's going to not hurt. I'm asking...
All right, so here's the profile of this woman. I'm a salesman. you want to find a woman and I tell you, okay, have this one right here, this one you see on screen. She has her kid, she's a single mother, she's divorced, she has been hitting her head against the same wall for the last 20 years. Her body count, presumably, is quite high, probably higher than your... Never mind that joke. No, what else? She's a hopeless romantic, right? Maybe that's something you're into, hopeless romantics, which is it telegraphs 3 or 4 energy, let me say that way. So, are you interested? For the price of probably getting divorced and she taking half your stuff away. Oh, and she also focuses a lot on her business and on her money. But you will pay the bills, right? It's got nothing to do with who will pay the bills. You will pay the bills, and you will pay the dates. Is anyone interested, gentlemen? Let's finish this TikTok.
Asking the serious question, ladies and gents, what are we going to do about it? Seriously, especially if you're from Melbourne, right? Because online dating sucks for both men and women, I hear, right? But we got to do something about it because our species was made to couple up. But I don't know what is going on in 2024 with dating. So somebody help me, answer me, please.
Oh, I'll answer you. What are we going to do, gentlemen? Go for the younger ones who haven't made their choices already and there's prospects of having a future. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to settle with the women who have already walked the long run and already been through the carousel and already had many orbiters. And all these questions about will I pass away alone, will my kid have a father figure, all these questions didn't seem to matter in the past when you had other things to fill up the void inside you. But now that, oh crap, I'm nearly 40, now all these thoughts come back and you want to be saved, right? You want a guy to come up and pick up the pieces that you broke. Not gonna happen, right? But guys, let's move on to a wombo combo. This video has the hashtags dating over 30, dating after divorce, and single mother. A beautiful wombo combo here, just all the red flags in the right places. So let's see what she has to say.
I will not make up stories in my head about who this man is going to be or is. I have a very real habit of creating these false people. And then they don't live up to those expectations, and it's really not their fault. I've done that. We are going to watch his actions and not listen to words. We're going to watch actions.
So this is what goes by manifesting, even though they always end up doing the same things all over again. But yeah, it doesn't sound that hard, eh? These women go for men that then they want to change and make and shape into the perfect man. Why don't you go for that man in the first place? Oh, because it's not interesting, because they are not exciting, right? We have to go for the guy with the obvious red flags, and then when the consequences of your actions hit you, then we start manifesting. Oh, I won't do it again. Well, take a guess, guys. Will she do it again? Just take a guess. But now, there's one thing missing from this whole video, and we're gonna see it on the last TikTok. What are your bets, guys? Of course, it's the piano music. We haven't had a woman with a melodramatic piano music background. So here she is, guys. Let's see.
Dating after narcissistic abuse. Can you guess who I'm going on a date with? Myself. I'm going out on a date with myself. Well, not truly by myself. I'm going with a friend. Throughout this whole breakup, I made a vow to God that I was going to make sure to honor my marriage up until the last day. So I was faithful to that man for over 9 years. Did meet a friend and we started talking and we talked for 6 months. But anytime I went there, anytime I slept there, he knew what my vow was to God and he did not cross my boundaries at all. I've always been a strong, independent woman before I met the narcissist. And I also taught my daughter to be a strong, independent woman. And I always told her, never give up your identity to a man. And what did I do? I gave up my identity to a man. So I'm taking that vow to myself to honor myself and to become that strong, independent woman again so that I can make my daughter proud. So if my daughter ever goes through a similar situation, she will know that you can make it. You can make it through. And you don't need a man and you don't have to depend on a man to make it through. I'm here opening the pool, mowing the lawn, power washing. I'm doing everything I used to do before I met the narcissist. And now I cannot wait until I see what God's journey has in store for me. I'm ready to go. But guys, don't be rushed into getting into a new relationship. Take this time for yourself. Even though you're lonely, trust me, I get it. I'm lonely. I pick up the phone and I call a friend. That's all you gotta do. So it's my night off, so I'm going out with a friend and I'm just gonna enjoy my night. So guys, don't start dating too early. Let's get through this and let's heal before we find that new man.
Spoken like a true Christian woman, eh? Well, you're empowered, you're liberated, you mow the lawn, you clean the pool, you do everything. You go, girl. We'll leave you off with that. Good luck with that. But guys, we'll be closing the video right here. Leave me your thoughts about what we witnessed. Pat Ampu on your way out. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.